In today's video, we are reaching a milestone that I never really thought I would ever be crossing. But I am. So today, let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Bricks and Toys. My name is Brandon and today is about modular buildings. Well, I guess in a weird way, a lot of the builds at this time of the month is about the modular buildings. Right now we're in the middle of rebuilding the Lego City, and that's going kind of okay, kind of well. We got the cars done, we got the amusement park done, and now we're going into the actual city and doing the modulars. And we're going to take a quick break today and film this build and review video. And what's kind of unique about it is when I first started the Lego City, it was about getting modular buildings and trying to place them in a cool little order with some road plates, and maybe we can call it a Lego City. And since then, we've grown into 8 tables, 3 off to the side, 5 deep, and we've just turned it into this really cool thing with like a forest and the downtown, and then we got the amusement park, and it just keeps growing. And what I have here with me today is the Jazz Club and the Detective's Office. Now, these are out of the city because we're doing the city repair work at the time of filming this, and I figured, what better 2 stars of the show to have than these 2 guys? And the reason that is that the Jazz Club was at the top of the list. It was bought around the same time as the police station, the boutique hotel, which both got decimated in the accident, and then there was this one. And the Detective's Office is number 12 of the Pier modular building lineup. So we have like number 3 with like number 12. And when I was building number 3, I remember looking at the prices of retired modular buildings and thinking, there's no way in hell we're going to ever be able to do really beyond what they currently sell. And at the time of filming this, it's the same as when I started. The Assembly Square, the bookshop, the police station, the boutique hotel, and the Jazz Club. I think that's all of them. I was like, at least we can buy 5 for normal Lego prices, but beyond that, we're screwed, we're done, we're out, it ain't happening. But then my investor, my mother, she stepped in and we started walking this path of articulation, trying to figure out how to navigate this road of modular buildings to really fill in the city. And the strategy that we have took on is, instead of going for the big guns first, go for the little guns. Early on, we bought brand new in box, and then we realized it's not very good to buy new in box that's just been sitting around just to break it open and build it into the Lego City. Because one, you're paying a really high price for a building that's been retired for 4 to 5 years or more, and you're just taking it out of the box to basically let it get aged out of the box. And that doesn't make sense. When it's an older building that you pay the price for, keep it in the box. It just makes more sense to do that. With some exceptions that we got coming down the pipeline, I'll go over this more in detail about how I feel. So we made a couple mistakes with that. Corner Garage, Downtown Diner, I believe, are 2 of them, where we bought them brand new in box. We paid like $100 more than we should have because of that, just to cut the boxes open and put them out into the city. Mistakes were made. But then we got wise and we started going down this whole path of, let's just buy them used with some damage. And then that got out of hand with the Parisian restaurant, building number 11. We ended up accidentally ordering from South Korea. It was window damaged, basically sat by a window. It was yellowed. Spray paint was involved. So that got out of hand. So then we just took a huge break. And then we decided to go back to the drawing board of, now let's stop playing games. First, we dove in too fast, new in box. But then we had this idea of buying used to save some money, yet fix up some sets that would have been otherwise forgotten, and then it just went too far. So now let's go all the way back and let's try to find as close to new as possible with being used, with no frills and no BS. And that is what today's build is. And that is going to be the Grand Emporium. Now, like I was kind of going with this earlier, talking about getting these buildings and getting here, we're doing the smaller stuff first. Instead of spending $700 to $800 on one building, we're trying to do what we can to get as much as we can per $700 to $800 per two buildings. There's going to come a point where we get to the cafe corner, to the greengrocer, and to the town center. Those three buildings are going to be thousand, and I'm not looking forward to that. And this is honestly, at this point, how I felt when I was at this point. That's the poetic full circle thing I'm trying to go for here. When I was here, I did not see how I was going to get here. But then we came up with a strategy to get at least 2 to 3 buildings per $700 to $800. That got out of hand, and now we're back. But this, I honestly feel, is the end of the road until we got to start dropping that 4-digit change to get the last 3 buildings. This is where it's going to get tough. So we are building the Grand Emporium from 2010. This set is a used set, and it does come with all 3 books. And when you do buy this set online, used, you can expect about $350. We paid $310 plus shipping for this, which came out to under $350. If we would have went through Bricklink, we would have paid $350 for the closest example to this, plus shipping still. So we did save some extra cash on this, which means if there is any issues, we do have some playroom, but we made sure to really, we're down to the point of finding the names of the eBay sellers and doing a true people search and doing a light background search before we buy anything from anybody. That's the point of where we're getting to get these buildings. This guy happens to be a 45-year-old male from Southern California. So, don't know what you can profile off of that, but I can tell you one thing. This build does look incredible. This guy that previously owned this set, he did package it up really nice, and check this out. We have all the light gray bricks, and we're able to look directly at these. I don't see any dust. I don't see anything chipped or broken. It looks like it's ready to be built right now. We got the light tan, dark tan right there. We got this nice tan, actual tan color right here. We got the dark gray, all the plates, all clean. I mean, all this stuff is really clean. Then we have all the white, no yellow. Just a little bit of aging, which is to be expected. It's been out in the elements. Random colors, minifigures, transparent pieces, green and the windows, and black. I mean, how cool is this build, everybody, that I don't even have to wash this. I'm not going to wash this. It's pointless to get the bricks wet. There's nothing wrong. And everything's sorted out by color. All I got to do is just lay this out on a mat per color, dive into book 1, and get it done. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. I'm going to time lapse this build, and we're going to pick this up on a time lapse in my kitchen, and I'm going to lay this sucker out, and we're just going to go until we get it done. And here is the Grand Emporium shop. Now with this set, it's quite interesting because on the outside, it's really beautiful. It looks like it's really got a lot going on. But on the inside, it's empty and hollow, just like a Kardashian. Now let's zoom in and let's start taking a look at all the really cool details of this set. Now one of the things that I really liked about this set was this billboard. I always thought that having a billboard on a modular building would be a really cool touch, and this is the one that had it. So now we got the billboard with the minifigure head and the present. That's really cool. We do have a skylight showing a chandelier, looks like, right there. And that does it for about the roof. We have some interesting tiling work making the roof. And then we come down and we got our first minifigure. And this dude is washing the windows. So, everybody give him a thumbs up. Looks like he's doing a pretty good job. Coming around, we have some nice wraparound windows. Back in this day, you could basically get cracks in between your windows. It was perfectly normal. Building technique. Then we come around here, more windows. Then we come over on this side. We have some nice blue and red flags. And generally of the same makeup of windows and everything. And then when we come down here, looks like we have a little ice cream shop with a boy wanting some ice cream. That's probably his mother coming out with all the shopping bags and being like, I spent all the dang money, stop asking for ice cream. Then we have the shop that's built out of plates and bricks, which is a really cool touch. We've got two nice planters, not to mention some really nice tiling work here. Looks like we got a mail drop-off box, street lamp, and some really nice part-intensive pieces that makes up these four pillars that go around with the lights. And then we have these nice green umbrellas covering the windows. If we can come down, you can see through the windows a little tidbit, and you can see some hats in the window for sale. Coming around here, we do have a really cool slidey door. And then we do have some wedding outfits for sale in the window there. We'll take a better look at these as we come down the levels. Looking at the sides of everything, just really boring on the sides, not a lot of detail. Two windows. I do like how they kind of arched in this back door. That is a really cool way to do it. Same thing with this way, they kind of arched it in. That's really cool. This build is all the way to the base plate on both sides. So that's kind of like a carved out area. Coming over here, same thing, really boring. And then we get a better look at that sky roof using some of those Creator Expert elements for the car windows. Tinted black. Now, to take off the roof, we are just going to grab the roof and it comes right off. So this has no studs holding it on. It is literally held on by these little locking 1x2 tile plates. Now, I'm made to believe that the first floor here is, or the third floor here, is a toy shoppy. Or shop, however you want to say it. I do find it really interesting how they just bombarded the whole thing with windows. It's like do-do-do-do-do-do. I feel like nowadays they would have a much more efficient way to make the windows. But back then, that's what they had. It looks like they got a scooter for sale, some balls, and a tree house or a bird house. And there's that chandelier. That's kind of part intensive. And that's really all there is to talk about on the third floor. Now, like I said, easy to remove the floors because there's nothing really clicking them in. Just those plates, lock them tight. Now here is the kitchenwares floor, floor number 2. And that's what you get for your kitchenwares. 2 gold plates and some glasses. But here we get a better look at our first escalator. And that is a really cool build. We never had an escalator in a modular until this point, and I don't think we have had one since. Coming down to the final floor, the main floor. Like with most modulars, they did put their eggs in this basket. There is another escalator coming down, and here we have a lady working the cash register. There is some details under the cash register that I can't really get in on. There is a guy with his pants off changing in the changing room. Let's see if I can pull back the curtain. Honey, where is my pants? They're in your hand. So there is that. It's a little changing room. We've got some kids' pants on the wall. Some stuff on that center island. Not sure what that makes right there. And there's those hats in the window, as well as those, looks like wedding outfits in the other window. Now that we have the top off, we can come down and take probably a better look. Yeah, and get that lighting in there and really see all that. That is really cool. You see some mannequins, and there's a better look at that spinning door. To put everything back together, it's pretty much just line it up, drop it down like that. Let's do it again. There we are. And one more time, like Daft Punk for the roof. There we go. Super easy to get this all done. So there is the Grand Emporium. Now let's zoom out and let's talk about it. So now let's wrap up the Grand Emporium. And one of the first things I kind of wanted to talk to you about was I can put two and two together, and I really think it's cool that they used Grand Emporium for the name. Now, I remember when I first heard about this set, I remember thinking, what the hell is a Grand Emporium? But then when I saw the set, I realized that a Grand Emporium is a fancy way of saying shopping mall. So here in America, we call it going to the mall, but I guess in some countries it's called going to the Emporium. So that's why it's named that. That's why it's got stuff to go shopping in. So this is the first building in the city that is fully dedicated to shopping besides the Lego store. But now the adult minifigures of the Lego City will have a place to go and get their clothes and their housewares and their toys for their kids. And that's a really cool feature in the city. Now this is another building that was fully done by Jamie Berard, which also did the one before it, which was the Fire Brigade. So now I have two Lego sets fully touched on by that Lego designer that has a lot of good credentials. This set, it did run from 2010 to 2014, and the really fun fact about this set is, back in the day, it would have costed you about $150 for one of these buildings. Now, who out there watching the video right now wishes that you could buy the latest modular building for only $150? I believe now they're $230-ish, $240-ish, somewhere in there. Almost a whole another $100. Plus, the new modular building that's rumored to come out will be over $300. So, back in the day, probably $150 looked like a lot, but now, for us, we would love to have paid that. Like I said, I did pick up this set for about $350 out the door with shipping. It seems like they're selling for about $350 in about this condition, and plus shipping, so not too bad there. This set was one of the ones that was like, it's not on the too expensive side at $350. It kind of allows you some breathing room to get another build, which is what we did get. And that will be the 2011 Pet Shop. And after this, I really don't know how I'm going to get the buildings that's older than this, because now I have every single building but Town Square from 2009 all the way to 2023. So that is some really cool progress that we're making in the Lego City. My goal is to have all of the modular buildings in the Lego City, whether I got to make it happen or however, whether I got to make the buildings from just the parts list, or we got to play that one by ear, everybody. So with that, this is a really cool building. I really do like it. It lacks on the interior, but back in this time, interiors were not the main focus. It was more of the exterior and how it looks lined up against its other counterparts. And on the terms of counterparts, I don't have the counterparts that go before this, which would be Well, I do have the fire station, but it's in my Lego City. And then the one before that, which was Greengrocer, I believe. Now, I don't have that one, but what I do have ready to go is the detective's office. So, I want to show you guys how this is going to look in the Lego City, but I cannot because I'm currently rebuilding the Lego City, and I want to get the other one done, our next modular building build done, and get these put all in a row at the same time. But I will give you a little bit of a snippet. So this will be a corner unit across the street from the amusement park towards where the roller coasters are. And it will go like that in the city. And its neighbor will be the detective's office from 2015. So we got 2010 meeting up with 2015. And there we go. So that will kind of show you in the direction of what we are looking at once all of this gets together. Now, it's kind of weird when you look at it because this is perfectly even with one another. But then when you come down to this part, the way it sticks out here and the way this is kind of sunk in, it does look really offset and really cool. I really do like that. But this being so flush, I kind of like how it's two drastically different colors put together, so I do think that is really cool. One last thing I did want to say about the set is, as you guys know, I bought it used, and I bought it in really good shape, like to the point where I didn't even clean it. Usually I clean before I build. Did I come to regret the decision of not cleaning it? Yes, I did. Once I started finding the parts that made up the roof plates and the roof glass and stuff, it needed more than vacuuming. I was able to get a lot of the dust off with vacuuming, so not too bad there, but it is one of those things that I do wish I would have cleaned it. Now, was it fully complete? Nah, 98, 99% complete. There was a few parts that were completely MIA, and lucky for me, I had them in my parts collection, and I was able to get them fixed. Just weird things like the corner pieces that come around. I didn't have the light gray, but I had two dark gray, and you can't really tell that it's mixed matched, and honestly, it looks like it's a part of the building's architecture to be imperfect, like a normal building would. And then I was missing some tiles, but then I did upgrade some of the sidewalk tiles in front to have the stud coming out of them instead of just a flat plate. That way I could stage the minifigures in front of the store and have them not fall off. So, I'm not even worried about the missing parts or the dust. Everything cleaned up really well, and as we all know, it will go outside into the Lego City, and it will collect dust. I try to keep my stuff dusted and clean, but sometimes it's an uphill battle. So on that, drop your comments down below. What do you guys think about the Grand Emporium? Do you guys like it? Do you guys think that this is a really cool step? What do you guys think about Jamie Berard and the buildings that he designed when he kicked off this collection? I think he did a lot of good styling. Just wish he would have did more at the interiors, but maybe the budget wasn't in it back then. But on that one, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. You all have a good one, and stay tuned because we got more Lego City repair work coming on after this. Then we have the pet shop coming up after this. We have in a Guardians of the Galaxy build. We have some small builds all coming up on the channel. A lot of good stuff. We're always getting the new sets to review at the beginning of the month, so if you're new and you like to see good reviews from a person that does not write a script, subscribe, like, and share, and on that, you all have a good one, and thank you for watching.